Oh my gosh, I've never seen this in a Hallmark movie before. I hope to never see it again. And when I saw this, it gave me anxiety throughout the entire rest of the movie. And I felt like this needs to be on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries or on a completely different channel, because this has no place on Hallmark Channel for me. Hi guys, it's B. Welcome to my channel, and today we're talking about A Second Chance at Love. If I could describe this movie in one word, I would say yikes. It stars Gloria Rubin and Eric LaSalle, who used to be together on ER. Our lead is Alicia. She is a woman who is married but is ruining her marriage because she wants to save her parents. She has felt responsible for their happiness since she was a child. As we find out in the beginning through her monologue, they were happy at first, but then both of her parents got more into work and later divorced. And Alicia has never recovered from that, and she finds it her responsibility to make sure that both of her parents are happy. They say that the mom is spending too much time with the daughter and her husband. Her husband seems to be a long-suffering type guy who keeps complaining about the fact that she's not spending enough time with him and is constantly putting her mother first. When she does have time for him, he would rather watch basketball. So I have a hard time feeling badly for him. Her dad has been dating around quite a bit apparently. He's sort of a playboy, and it looks like he likes gals who are a lot younger than him. I had a really hard time liking her dad at all. He barely smiled, and I found him to be sort of, I don't know, he seemed bored. He also seems like he thinks he knows better than everyone. Alicia's husband has just started a new dating app called Organic Chemistry. Alicia decides to sign up both of her parents for this service, not assuming that they would potentially get matched. I don't even know how they wind up getting matched, because the mom says she wants something serious and the dad specifically says he does not, and yet somehow they still get matched. Also, I mean, if it's a new site, there's not a lot of people on it. I don't think the daughter should be super surprised if they end up getting matched, considering they're both in Portland. But they do get matched. They meet up for dinner and are both surprised to find one another. Alicia's mom, Brenda, is immediately concerned about this. She doesn't want to spend much time with Jack, but he convinces her. Then he visits her at her workplace and further says, you know what? We should be friends, we should hang out. Again, Brenda's very standoffish about this, but he pushes it. They have some really cute scenes together actually, but I had a hard time enjoying it because I just felt like Brenda was getting pressured into the whole thing. I wondered how serious Jack was even going to be, because he said he didn't want anything serious on the dating app, and he's obviously dated around a lot. So I just had a lot of misgivings about Jack, and I was worried about Brenda, honestly. At one point, Jack decides to visit Brenda in her work once they've started being together more frequently as friends or whatever they are. They're having a fling, and Jack gets mad because he sees her with her colleague and they are working on a dance together. I will say though, it was kind of interesting when you see the close-up of her colleague Rob. It looks like he's got lipstick on his mouth. It looks like he was kissing her and he has lipstick on his lips that was like rubbed around. So I could see why Jack might have been a little bit upset. But still, apparently they weren't really doing anything other than just dancing together. Although I do think Rob had feelings for Brenda. Brenda finally has another talk with Jack. She explains again that she's really uncomfortable about them being together. It was confusing to me because Jack was talking about how they both got more into their work, but it definitely sounded like it was more Brenda's fault for being more involved in her work. And then he said he was trying to protect her, but from what exactly, I have no idea. Nothing else. It just seemed like it was mostly Brenda's fault for being involved in her career. And I didn't like how he interrupted her. He was sort of railroading her. She seemed to be really sensitive and was trying to convey things like with emotional vulnerability, whereas he was just sort of bored and a little arrogant. I just really didn't like it. I found it very uncomfortable. In any case, Brenda finally says, no thank you, let's just stop. And then Alicia and Brenda bump into him and his gal pal at a coffee shop. He immediately starts going with somebody else again. And then we fast forward to the end. Alicia has made it even more awkward for she and her husband because she has invited Brenda along with them on a romantic getaway. And then Alicia secretly has also talked to Jack and said, hey Jack, if you're serious about my mom, you need to come. So again, they get together. Jack sort of sweet talks Brenda, who's again very reluctant, talking about how she looked when they got engaged, like that's supposed to make a difference. So they play the song, Just the Two of Us, which they had at the beginning and the end. It was kind of a sweet moment, but at the same time, again, I just had a lot of anxiety about Jack. I even still felt weird about Alicia and her husband. I'm like, is this gonna go well? I don't know. I don't have great feelings about it. But in the end, Brenda decides to believe that Jack is going to turn over a new leaf and let her have her time to shine, which he's never done before. As long as we believe that Jack is going to be a new man, I can be a little bit happier. The ending was kind of cute where they get married, and then you see very rapidly after that, Alicia and her husband have a baby. Again, you're just sort of hoping for the best in terms of Alicia and her husband. And I enjoyed the sweet parts, but it wasn't enough for me because so much of this movie just gave me like anxious vibes. Like I felt badly for the women. So let's talk about the romance, the rom and the rom-com. I did find it very sweet when Jack and Brenda connect again and they're doing, like they're going on walks and they're cooking and they're dancing. I found that to be super charming, quite romantic. And of course the end when they get married, it's lovely, very romantic. And when they add that grandbaby to the mix, I thought again, just lovely romance, but there's just a whole lot of suspension of belief you have to do to feel like this is all going to work out beautifully and everybody's a changed person for the better. And so even though it was beautifully romantic, the other scenes around that just made me feel like it was less romantic. Let's talk about the com and the rom-com, the cringe or moan. Man, was I cringing and moaning throughout this almost whole movie. I really felt weird about Alicia and her relationship to her mom. Her mom is like her best friend. Sometimes I was sort of connecting with Alicia, like she should be able to support her mom, but then it did seem kind of over the top, like when she and her friend went to a restaurant to scope out and see who her mother was dating, especially when her husband had gone to the trouble to make a nice dinner. That was definitely over the top, but some of the time I felt like, you know, it's nice to be there for your mom if your mom needs you, you know, but you don't want your mom to be the third wheel in your marriage. But the thing is, like, who wants to spin their wheels about thoughts like that while enjoying a Hallmark movie? I watch Hallmark to avoid awkward things like that. The worst one though was, oh my gosh, I've never seen this in a Hallmark movie before. I hope to never see it again. And when I saw this, it gave me anxiety throughout the entire rest of the movie. And I felt like this needs to be on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries or on a completely different channel because this has no place on Hallmark Channel for me. Was when her husband is shopping and some girl is smiling at him and you can tell it really meant a lot to him. And then he confided to his friend later that it really felt good, that she was like flirting with him. And I'm thinking, is he gonna have an affair? Is this like a thing? Is this gonna happen? I could not believe that they went there in this movie. It made me so uncomfortable. And again, like I was so worried, and we was talking about watching basketball instead when she was actually making an effort. I was so anxious about their relationship. It really made it hard for me to root for him and to root for the two of them and just to feel happy for Alicia in the end. So huge cringe for that. Okay, so let's talk about the rating. I love the fact that they used the song Just the Two of Us. I also really enjoyed Alicia's grandmother, who gave great advice, such as don't try to fix other people's puzzles when you have your own puzzle to work on, which is good for any of us who want to feel like we can't be happy unless people who we love are happy and we try to fix them. I know that sometimes I can be like that, and I'm sure many of us out there are like that too. Well, especially Hallmark viewers, we're caring people. We want everyone to be happy and we want to do things to help other people be happy, but at the same time we have to have boundaries or whatever. See, this is what I'm talking about. Who wants to think about this stuff while watching a Hallmark movie? In any case, because of the few things I mentioned, I decided not to give this 0 butterflies. This movie is getting 1 butterfly. And I'm going to tell you right now, with the ranking for the Spring Into Love movies, this is going to be on the bottom for the rest of the 4 movies. If it's not on the bottom, that is really bad. If some movie I like less than this movie, I can't even imagine. Well, thanks for hanging out with me through this. It was not my favorite movie to review, I'll tell you that. Actually, it's the least favorite movie I've ever reviewed. When I was watching previews for Just One Kiss, which is coming out this Saturday, I just kept thinking, oh, can we watch that instead? Can I fast forward straight to that movie? I'm really way more into that. So I'm looking forward to that. If you're looking for any more content from me, maybe some happier reviews than what this one was, I've got some right here. Otherwise, I hope you're doing well, and I hope that your life is in full bloom. Until next time, take care. Bye.